Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and it's time for another rambling and unboxing, this time of Chronicles of Drunagor. And this, first of all, I got my coffee shot nicely lined up. I said lightly the first time. I restarted the video because I was like, it's too early. And this time I said it again. I don't know why I'm saying lightly. But Chronicles of Drunagor. This is going to be a game with a lot of boxes, as you've seen. And that's not even counting the two, uglyish looking boxes that we'll figure out as well. But let's go through this. As usual, this is loosely related to Chronicles of Drunagor. We'll see. We'll talk about it, I'm sure. By the way, let me just do this before we go. These boxes are all so shiny. Combine that with the lights in them, and you get a nice shot over here. You can probably see my entire room if you perfectly pause the camera and let it reflect off this box, get some nice shots of whatever. Oh, look at that. You can literally see all the way around. It's pretty cool. Unnecessary, but cool. So, now, let's go into this. Chronicles of Drunagor. Let's figure out what we're talking about today. Let's figure out what's on the agenda, because I have a lot of things on the agenda, and I did not have time for this one to show up, but I have to get a review of it, so that means I'm going to have to play it, which means you can add this to the list of games. Hopefully nothing falls off the edge of the table there. You can add that to the list of games that I am hopefully going to be enjoying soon, and that's going to include a few things. We're going to have... Is this the base box? Holy, this is the base box. So, upcoming, I have a variety of things that I need to get played. To begin with, we have Black Rose Wars. For those of you who don't know, Black Rose Wars is having some sort of something coming to Kickstarter later, so I don't know exactly when, if it's this year or next year, but Ludus Magnus Studio teased something on their Facebook page, so you can check that out. But that means that my copy of Black Rose Wars that has been languishing on my shelf unplayed, hidden behind Machina Arcana, I'll go ahead and grab that. So if we go behind Machina Arcana over there, we have Black Rose Wars. Most of the time, these boxes are not actually hiding anything other than expansions. That's one of the few cubbies here where there's a different game behind the main box. But Black Rose Wars needs to get played. I've had it for a while now. I have the giant stretch goal box, probably out of sight. I don't even know where it is. I have the oh, it's up there. Stretch goal box is up there, back in that area over there. I'm opening this in the wrong section. Let me redo that. I'm going to move this here. I can't do it. I literally can't pull this box top off underneath the camera because the box is too tall. Twice the size of this box. Well, it gives me a little bit of room. I'm going up to about here, and then we hit the camera. See, there's my hand over there, right there. Too close, I say. Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness. So, we need to get Black Rose Wars played. We need to get Chronicles of Drunagor played. This is going to be, I can't do anything with it this close over here. It's just too much going on here. So, what do we have here? We have a rule book. The relevant parts start on page 6. We start with the structure of a campaign, knowing your hero. And from there, we're going to go all the way down to where we're going to go, how far before we hit, let's say, campaigns or scenarios. Note that's darkness is still gameplay, the camp, the dungeon rules, tokens sorted by type. So it looks like this whole thing. So let's go to before keywords. Before keywords, before player versus player, I'm not playing that. So up to 44, pages 6 to 44. That's 38 pages. Sounds right. 38 pages of content that you have to go through, or that I'm going to have to go through. And it looks like it's fairly text-heavy. Got some pictures. Now, I do know the basics of this game because I backed the Kickstarter, and unlike some Kickstarters, I actually did pay attention to what was going on. That said, the basics do not preclude me being... I have to read this book. That's what it comes down to. I or someone I know in my group will have to read this book. Then we have the adventure book. And we also have the Chronicles of Drunagor Start Here. The open and play guide will help you set up and start your first single-player adventure in the world of Drunagor and teach you all the basic game rules. That is excellent. I love it when games do this. You know Arena of the Contest? Arena of the Contest is a game that I love, that I've reviewed, and I still haven't read the entire rulebook. Now, before you jump at me about how could you review a game when you haven't read the rulebook, first of all, my first excuse is going to be as like my third video on the channel. My second excuse is I'd probably still do it again. I don't feel the need to check any specific boxes before reviewing a game. The specific box I want to check is, do I feel I can give an informed opinion of that game? Now, some people might disagree with that. Some people might say, hey, Alex, you need 15 plays. How can you review a game without talking to the solo mode? How can you review a game without playing at all the player counts? Those are all reasonable questions, and the answer I'm going to give you is, I'm going to review a game when I feel that I am capable of reviewing it, and if you find that my taste in games or my opinions, my feedback does not align with yours, then you should find some other content creators to use their opinion. Doesn't mean you should stop watching me. I'd love to have you here, even if you don't use my reviews. It just means that we all watch people for different things. It's something I talk about all the time. There are many channels that I watch for different reasons than their game tastes. It's just, I find different aspects. There's so many aspects of this hobby. Whoa, this book is full of a whole lot of text. This is going to be a narrative something or other, because there's a lot going on here. There is a lot going on here. Look at this stuff. Now, this, fortunately, you don't have to read before. You can read this as you go. And we're not done yet. Ooh, teaser. Okay, not really a teaser, because I'm sure you've seen it, or maybe you've seen it. Depends on who you are. The Apocalypse. So, we have their upcoming campaign. As we all know, the world has changed. Darkness has come. We have fought. We keep on fighting. But in 2021, the Apocalypse is coming. Kickstarter, coming soon. The Famine Horseman Boss Miniature. That's going to be an empty page there. And we have this. Maybe I'll read it on camera, maybe not. We have the player aid chart, and we have a nice letter from Team CGS. Our team is extremely pleased to deliver you the results of years of work with your support, blah, blah, blah. Inside the box, you'll find our passion, blah, blah. That's not to disrespect the passion and all that. These are nice. I just don't know if I want to read the whole thing on camera. The Team CGS included some unique mechanics that will increase your immersion and interaction with the game. And last but not least, we have a surprise for you. All of our doors have a QR code with an exclusive random system that will allow you to scan the doors and play different adventures. Oh, I remember seeing that update. Basically, the system in this game lets you basically have a door to a variable dungeon that will be explored as you go through it. But the problem part is that they only have a handful of options. So it's like, okay, great, this door will open up into like 3 possibilities. But they gave an app with QR codes, you can scan it. So you can play this game without the app, which is obviously important for someone like myself. These are going to be the door tiles that fit onto the things. We'll set this up. In fact, what I might do is I think I'm going to go ahead and box this up, or just leave it off to the side even, and then come back to the core box at the end. And I'll do that because I might want to, let me put this on the floor over here. This one can stay over here. I'll do that because I might want to set up some of the stuff and I don't want to get lost in all the things. So, we'll come back to the core box soon. Timestamps down below for the relevant core boxes. Past that. So, like I said already, Black Rose Wars, I have to get that to the table because upcoming Kickstarter, I need to know if I should back it, all that. Then we have Western Legends. I plan on playing Western Legends shortly. First of all, because I want to play Western Legends to begin with, and second of all is because it's been on my list to begin with, and second of all is because it is a game that Bantam West, if you haven't heard of it, I've talked about it before, I will be talking about it again, I'll be talking about it Sunday too. But Bantam West is a game that is going to be compared to Western Legends, I guarantee it. If no one else does it, I'll be doing it. That's how I can guarantee it. We have more of a Chronicle book going on here, more stuff. This is going to be the Desert of Hellscar expansion. Yep. And so, Bantam West, I want to be able to do a play this, not that, of Bantam West versus Western Legends. So I'll be covering both of those from that sense over there. Over here, we have this. Okay, so that's going to be some miniatures. We got some nice little treasure chests over here. Nice little, yep. Beautiful little treasure chest. Not going to heavily go into the treasure chest. We have some miniatures. We have some sand things. I'm going to focus on the thing that I think is the most fun, obviously, which is going to be this guy as soon as we get him out of here. This is a solid miniature. Look at that guy. Look at that miniature. That's going to be the sand, throw... Oh, okay. You know what I just realized? You know what is guaranteed? So there's a guy in the Dice Tower in Board Game Breakfast. I can't remember his name. I apologize. But the guy does this thing where he mixes up components from one game to another. Okay, he just takes components and he mixes them up. And he's like, well, if you take this component in this game, it'll give you a greater immersive experience. And every time I watch it, I'm like, that is too much work. I am not opening multiple boxes to slightly improve my gameplay experience of whatever game we're playing. But you know what I am doing? This thing is guaranteed showing up in my next game of Dune Imperium. This is going on the board. Remember, I'm going to show the top camera again just so you can see that. That is going in my game of Dune Imperium. It is going on the board. It's going on a first player marker. I don't know what it's doing. I'll make up rules if I have to. I don't care. Because this deserves to be in Dune Imperium. Deserves is a weird word to choose, but whatever. That's going to be the Sands of Sunstar, the Desert of Sunstar, the Desert of Hellscar. I'm just making up words. The Desert of Hellscar expansion with its various tiles, and we'll go ahead and close that up with its book and all that. Now, we do have a dragon box here. Probably this guy over here. So, we have Western Legends. I need to play that. Then we have Imperial Spells and Steam. I would like to. I don't know if it'll happen. I would like to get a play in, and, I'm going to try to figure out where to put these boxes because there's so many of them. I would like to get a game of Western Legends spells. Save the cool box. I'm just switching my mind here. I would like to get a game of Imperial Spells and Steams in so that I can review it before the Kickstarter campaign is done. Just because timely. It's timely aspect. I don't know if I will, but if I can, I will. Did I cut myself? Nope, looks fine there. But yeah, I'd like to review that, so I want to get a play of that in. Also because I own it, and it looks fun, and fun games are ultimately the main point of all this stuff. So that, I'd like to get to that as well. We have Western Legends, I said. We have Chronicles of Drunagor. I mean, this is all aside from the usual backlog of things that I'm trying to get played. This is an unnecessarily large box, Now, I didn't watch the full King of Averages unboxing. By the way, if you do want to get, like, you know, all the miniatures and much more talking about the mold lines and whether it's a good miniature, check out the King of Average. He has an unboxing that is much more focused on the components and talking about stuff like that, which is, if you want that, then I'll throw a link down below. But I'm sure he talked about the size of this box and the fact that there's all this box for this. That's all we got here. He does, I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree with him on this. I'm not making fun of it. I genuinely agree. Whenever you have these gigantic boxes for like one mini, it is a complete waste. Now, the question is, I mean, this box could have been made smaller. This box, it's not like you have to have a certain minimum size, especially if you have a player board. Oh, there are player boards in here. Nope, maybe, nope. Yeah, there are player boards. Yeah, that's tricky. That's tricky. Because there actually are sheets in here that take up the size of the box. So it's annoying, but an annoyance that unfortunately is necessary, because it's the nature of you need a certain variable space for the height, and you need a certain space for the width and dimensions. I mean, once you do the math on that, it might seem like a lot of wasted space, but that's because of just the nature of the game. It's not because they just do a bigger box inherently. It's you have to have length times width times height and do the math. It's just math at a certain point. Now, could they have not sold it like that? Could they have sold only packs of 4 miniatures at a time? I mean, theoretically, sure, but that's a whole different conversation, isn't it? So, we have this. Okay, we got some nice miniatures in here, we got some cards, and again, you see, this is going to be the length times width times height. You absolutely could have shaved off a, you know, half an inch at the bottom, maybe, whatever that is, third of an inch, something like that. But yeah, you always have some degree of efficiency you can play with, but at the end of the day, it is going to slightly come down to how gorgeous that miniature looks. It's going to slightly come down to how gorgeous this miniature looks. I mean, seriously, this guy is just, I mean, it's fun. These are some quality miniatures. Now, I remember, back in the day, I don't know who followed the campaign to what extent, but I remember when they first released, like, the campaign was over, and they released an update showing you some of the miniature molds. And they're like, oh, hey, look at these miniatures and all that. And people lost their minds. And when I say people, I include myself in this. Now, I didn't lose my mind publicly. I did lose my mind privately, though. I saw the update, and I was like, okay, I just spent, like, $250, $300 on this game, and those miniatures don't inspire confidence. And they put out a message saying, no, don't worry, this is the first blah, 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 something, blah, 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 and it was, I mean, it didn't inspire confidence, the message either. It's like, what are you supposed to say when you get a whole bunch of backers jumping at you in the comments? You're supposed to say, yes, this is the final miniature. So I was genuinely pretty concerned. In fact, the first point at which I became no longer concerned about the miniatures is when I did watch the King of Averages unboxing. I specifically clicked on it, jumped around to the miniatures and whatnot, and saw, thank goodness, you know, we got actual good miniatures here. This is not some situation where I have to worry about Chapter 1, Chapter 2. We have to worry about terrible quality miniatures in my game. I mean, again, this kind of stuff happens. At the end of the day, there are lots of... And games can be great. Arena of the Contest was a great game before they announced their miniature upgrade packs or whatever. Before they updated their miniatures in the Terrace Adventures Kickstarter. So we have some miniatures here. Now, don't get me wrong, these aren't amazing. I didn't watch the full unboxing, but the larger sculpts are straight up gorgeous. The smaller sculpts are good. Not bad, not in the slightest, but they're also not amazing. They're just, I would argue, they're just good. So, I'm okay with them. No complaints, but also no massive amount of praise either for the smaller sculpts. So, we got that. These are some of the smaller boxes. We're going to get to the fun boxes soon, don't worry. There's going to be obviously the core box, which we'll get to, and then the 2 gigantic miniature boxes, because why in the world wouldn't we? We want to see the fun miniatures. We're not just here for the rambling. Maybe we are just here for the rambling. In fact, let's just take a pause and just appreciate each other for a minute. Thank you for being here. Genuinely. I like doing this. I like the videos, this specific unboxing right here, the conversation, the channel. It's all fun. So I appreciate you being here. Genuinely. And every time you come back, I appreciate it as well. And now you is very variable, because obviously I'm talking to the general you in this case, and no specific individual. That said, whether you're someone who's a Patreon, whether you're someone who is a commenter, someone who likes the videos, or just someone in the background watching. Now, to someone in the background watching, sadly, I don't know you at all, versus someone who comments even someone who just likes, I don't know you either, unfortunately. But someone who comments, I mean, there are names that I see on a regular basis that I appreciate seeing those names on a regular basis. It just means that they're regulars, they're around, they are here for the daily videos. I can expect to see stuff. There are certain people I can expect to see a comment from on nearly every single video. And there are people who are missed. There was one person who just commented the other day that he commented, he's like, oh, I've been busy, I've been gone. And I was like, I know you've been gone, because you used to comment on every video, and then he just disappeared. And I was sad. And not to get too dark, but especially with COVID, things happen. Sometimes people who disappear are actually gone. It's a real thing. I mean, Board Game Co., I trade games with people. Just going to get morbid, sorry in advance. But Board Game Co., I trade games with people, but I do know people who I've traded games with who unfortunately passed away from COVID. And it's not, like, it's a real thing. And that's just the people I know. Imagine the people you've tried. Like, imagine out there, is there someone who's completely flaked on a trade with you? They just stopped responding? Ever occurred to you that they just might not be around anymore? That's also a possibility, a morbid possibility, but a possibility. It's one of those things that's interesting. We like to think that things are going well, but sometimes they just aren't. It's weird, but that's a pretty cool miniature, by the way. I like these. Both these claw people, I'm going to hold up both of them. There we go. Look at those. Yep. Yeah, those are pretty nice. I like them. Now that we've talked about, you know, trades falling through and death, let's go back to this unboxing, because why not? But my point is, when you stop commenting on my videos... Oh, this is not my point. My point is not that if you comment on my videos, make sure to always comment on my videos, or I will think you died. That's not my point. Side thing, but not my point at all. But that is going to be the smaller unbox, which means it's time for the larger, cooler boxes one at a time. Although, again, we will do the core box last so that I can actually pull out and set up some trays and things. Now, this is going to be one of those things where CGS, Creative Game Studios, one of the things they did during the campaign, this is another thing that I was a backer, I commented, I gave my feedback, I like to think politely, but in fact, one of the nice things is my Kickstarter username, whatever it is, I think is Alex Radcliffe or Alexander Radcliffe. You can find my comments, so, and this is before I did content creation, so you can always find whether someone was a tool, even if they, like, this is the nature of the internet, we can always find things in people, and you can, by the way, you absolutely can find things that I regret, things that I've said or done that I absolutely regret. We'll talk about that in a second, because why not? Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness. This is going to be, you know, a bunch of extra stuff. The Maya, this is the stretch goal box? What is this? The Spoils of War, that sure seems like a stretch goal box. I definitely did something to my finger. I didn't, like, cut it, but, like, when I touch something with a specific part of my finger, I just get a little ding there. Okay, so we have these boards. These are going to be, let's open these boards up. This is the part of the game where we start talking about powers and abilities, because I have a video coming soon. It's a video that I've been working on for a while because I wanted to let my thoughts settle. So I started putting together, maybe 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a list of things that make a game fun for me. Probably longer than that. It started based on my video with Jeremy Howard where we were talking about Kickstarters, and towards the end he said, games should be fun. And I was like, what makes a game fun? I want to know that. So I started writing down for myself what makes a game fun. And we'll come back to that. But we have Maya, the human ranger. We have Shadow, the Efreet assassin. This is going to be like every character has abilities. Every character has gorgeous art. In fact, speaking of Jeremy Howard, he's in this game. We have Arcanos, the human mage. We have Duncan, the dwarf warrior. I'm going to find Jeremy Howard before we continue. We have Torque, the orc barbarian. We have Jade, the human paladin. We have Devran, the vampire shadow knight. All great art, all unique abilities, all, well, I mean, I assume there's overlap on the abilities. I don't know for sure. We have Barak, the orc sorcerer. Oh, so this one. I genuinely did not mean to take this conversation and unboxing twice into the realm of death. But Barak, this is something that I remember was actually pretty personal to me because, see this guy over here? Let me hold him up over here. See Barak? Okay. Barak, spelled like that, is the name of a close friend of mine who genuinely looks sort of like this picture. Sort of. Who passed away about 5-6 years ago. Not from COVID, because that wasn't the thing back then, but he had cancer, and he passed away, and I remember seeing, when they had this in the Kickstarter, they had Barak, just like, who looks like my friend. My friend doesn't have gigantic tusk teeth, fortunately, but like, overall, he's a large, built guy. He wasn't always scowling, he was kind of always scowling, but he was always smiling and scowling, he's alternating. But yeah, that was a fun character. I definitely plan on playing with that character at some point. We have Savron, we have Sun, we have Maya, which means Jeremy Howard, I believe his name is Jalen or something like that, was going to be in the base box over here. Let's go ahead and continue looking at this. But anyways, what were we talking about before I went towards death for a second time? We have, okay, let's take a look at these boxes. We have more, okay, I was talking about how, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was talking about being a jerk on the internet. So, CGS, what they did is they had these player boards that they changed the way the player boards worked. Initially, the player boards looked like this. We're going to show you over here. Initially, like in the first initial design. And then they released a like stretch goal / update or something like that. And they're like, and you've unlocked these new cool player boards that didn't look as cool. See these player boards? These over here? I mean, these are the skill trees, basically. The skill trees as you unlock your skill, and then you pick a skill offshooting from there. And these dual classes or single class, depending on the side, they kind of added that. Now, the reason they have this, the reason they switched to a different system is so that you can mix classes in the skill tree system. You can have a combination of classes. And you couldn't do that if you just had this board over here, but the way they did it the other way wasn't nearly as cool looking, but you could do it. So they kind of let people have both, and then they gave you a bunch of specific dual classes. So you could be the mage assassin, but maybe you can't be the mage monk. Like, but in the other system, you could be the mage monk. So they gave you components to basically do what you want, and or to use their system the way they envisioned it. But effectively, they made the mistake of releasing something that looked prettier in Iteration 1 than it did in Iteration 2. And so you had a lot of people, myself included, who are like, hey, just saying, we like the original system better, and you probably should pay attention to backer feedback, because it seems like a large percentage of people do feel that way. And they did. But they kept both systems. We have Barak, we have Devran, we have Flavian, we have, I assume I'm missing something here, we have Savran, we have Sun. The reason I assume I'm missing, first of all, these double-sided. Oh, interesting, okay, got it. The reason I'm assuming I'm missing something is it seems like there's more of these than there are of these. But I'll figure that out later. Okay, we're going to load those into there, and then we'll take a look at some miniatures, because eventually we do talk about things that are related to the game. So, miniatures. I mean, talking about Barak is related to the game, I'd guess. Okay, let's see. I'm going to look at some of these. Just let's take a look at some of these smaller ones. This is going to be a nice one. This is some pretty decent detail considering the size of the sculpt, honestly. This is a tiny sculpt. Pretty decent detail, all things considered. You see, I said all things considered. I did it, but it might have been the first time I did it, so I got a free pass the first time. Now my goal is to just not say it a second time. We have this mage over here. Again, pretty decent. It's like, the size is a factor for sure, but I am not complaining. I'm dropping it, but I'm not complaining about it. There we go. Okay, cool. And then we have a beer. I'll pull out the beer, because why not? Where's Barak? Oh, I want to pull out Barak. This is Barak, isn't it? This is Barak, I assume. Now, you can't see his tusks in his face, unfortunately. But this is going to be Barak. Let me see if it's focusing. There we go. And I know I've seen people say put your hand behind it to make it focus better, and that's definitely true. The problem is the angle is a little more awkward to do that. It's functional, but then it's harder to turn because I'm like holding my hand up at a weird angle just because like the camera's up here and I'm over here, so I'm not like holding it here. You see all those things make sense? Sure, there are things I can do to improve that. There are things I can do to get like focused cameras, but honestly, I have 2 camera setups and editing. That's already a lot more than I ever thought I'd be doing on the channel, but you gotta evolve with the times. And the times are that I have people who watch the videos, and enough people watch the videos that I feel the need to constantly improve on what I'm doing. Okay, we got some multi-sword warriors. My kids are gonna have a blast, by the way. They're gonna be so excited. Like we have just a lack of games showing up from Kickstarter, and then now like so many things all at once. I believe I have Railroad Ink showing up next week, as well as I feel I got another notification. There's Railroad Ink. Oh, I have Dark Rituals showing up soon. Dark Rituals. I don't know what else I have coming, but I do have other... Oh, focus. There we go. Yeah, I do have other things coming, so we'll see. Too many games. Now, this one, Chronicles of Drunagor, is campaign mode adjacent, campaign mode like. Now, I have an empty thing over here. It might be for one of those smaller boxes for a place to put those. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, Chronicles of Drunagor is going to be campaign light. It's going to be akin to Zombicide, but with a campaign, so maybe Massive Darkness. I don't really know exactly. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Speaking of reviews, I have to play Zombicide 2.0, so I can play that and give a review. And I did see the requests for myself, Rena, and Shira to do a playthrough of it. That will probably happen. It's a no-brainer for Shira. She likes the Zombicide system. The question for Rena is, do I try to get her to play that, or do I save my time and attention for Black Plague? Because I probably only have one more shot with Zombicide and Rena, so it's a tough one. For those who didn't watch the video, where 10 games I don't want to play with Alex, effectively, her first play of Zombicide was a tutorial, and she did not like it because it was too easy. And I was like, I was just trying to teach you how to play the game, so we played the tutorial scenario. It wasn't meant to be hard, it was meant to be teaching you. And she was not impressed. But she loves Cthulhu Death May Die, and those two games are so comparable. They're so comparable, I plan on doing a Play This Not That on Cthulhu Death May Die and Zombicide. And it's a Play This Not That I've already done. It was one of the second video I did on the channel comparing them, but it wasn't called Play This Not That back then. It was just comparing 2 games. But I want to do it better because it's been a long time, and also I've played both of them a lot more since then. This box is not coming up. Yeah, that's not gonna do. See, I've heard if you want to avoid this box pressure, something you can do, I haven't yet because I'm not that much of a heathen yet, is you can poke a hole in the corner of the box, and that will effectively release the air. This is my finger again. I like have a splinter in here or something. But it will release the air of the box so it doesn't get stuck here. This is going to be the dragon expansion, okay? I've missed having a large dragon. I know I have a dragon there and a dragon there. I have a few large dragons. In fact, from Black Rose Wars and from Arena of the Contest. Both games I've already talked about in this video, because there are games I talk about. We have more of these boards, more of these. We have the Age of Darkness, the Rise of the Undead Dragon expansion. So, what game can I put this in? This won't go in Dune Imperium, but maybe I can throw it in Arnak. I don't know. I can find an excuse. Then I can do a Play This Not That of Arnak versus Dune Imperium, which, by the way, is a video that Quackalope stole from my channel. Ow! Ow, that hurt. That genuinely hurt. This dragon has... Well, it's going to come out eventually, right? I don't want to break it, but there we go. Okay, this dragon is going to be cool. And there's more in the box. I saw it, don't worry. We'll come back to it. This is the dragon. Okay, that's pretty cool. This is, well, let's hold it up like this, because this is how we do it over here. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. That is a boss of a dragon. Like, seriously, I'm gonna let you see it again, because it's just that cool. This is like why I still use autofocus, because sometimes I do things like this, and this wouldn't work if I didn't. Now, autofocus does have its own problems. I mean, look at the back of this thing. Like, that is a beast of a dragon. Like, it doesn't have the size of the Joan of Arc dragon, but I prefer it. I think I prefer it. It has a slightly cartoonish look. It has a nice body. The Joan of Arc dragon was more traditional, but also the Joan of Arc dragon was genuinely scary to, like, I mean, this thing's got heft. Heft, serious heft. Chronicles of Drunagor, CGS, go Creative Game Studios, I approve. You win. You know, I'll just go ahead and give you a review right now. 5 out of 5 stars, has a dragon. And by the way, those spikes are genuinely, they genuinely hurt, because I know that because I said ow as I reached my hand into the box to pull the dragon out, and it hurt. That's the nature of hurt and pain and suffering. And we have some miniatures over here. Nothing particularly amazing. Looks like we have 2 characters. Oh, that's right. Each expansion came with 2 characters. Let's go ahead and show you those, plus some miniatures and whatnot. Yep, there's going to be that one, and then there's going to be that one over here. Just 2 more characters for your lineup. But now it is time to go find Jylene in the core box. I didn't realize he was a core box character. Jeremy Howard, I hope you like this game, because you're a core box character in this game. So I want to go find you now. Now this, by the way, no, because it has this underneath. That's why. See, I was about to comment on wasted space, but it's not, because it has this underneath, this on top, sitting all there nice and like. There we go. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? I'm in the middle of cutting down a tree outside with a sawzall. If you don't have a sawzall, I recommend buying a sawzall. It is a great household tool. It's basically a saw. It's a reciprocating saw, otherwise known as a sawzall, but you charge it and then you go on any sort of, you know, shrubbery or things you need to cut. I've used it for a variety of things, including I've used it for cutting out one of my calyx shelves in order to give me a 2x1 cube situation. So I did that once. Sawzalls are very flexible in what they do, and I'm currently using it to cut down a tree. Not a big tree, but a tree with like a trunk, maybe roughly this dimensions or so, roughly, something like that. And then the problem with it is that the sawzall, mine is battery operated, and it ran out of battery partially through this tree cutting experience. So now I have a half-cut tree outside. Hopefully we don't get large gusts of wind. You can see where this is going and why this is a problem. Dare you tempt the hand of fate. These are going to be the doors. That's a lot of doors. Holy. That is a lot of doors. Let's go ahead and open that. Wow. I thought I was worried about, I mean, I don't know how much content there's for this game, but that is a lot of doors. So effectively, these are the door cards, which we've seen already in some of the other boxes, although they are folded in the other boxes. But this is a door card, okay? We have it like so. I believe it folds up. Special event. When this door is opened, I'm not going to tell you what it does. I don't want to fold it because I don't actually know how it folds yet. So I'm not going to fold them, but I'm just going to show you how many there are here. This is just a ton of doors. Each of these doors represents a room, represents some sort of situation of something happening. You can see how something kind of is a setup situation. There's all these different setups of different situations that are going to pop up in the game. That is a lot of different content for this game. I'm excited about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can use the what's it called? The QR code generator. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy. Okay, so this week, what else is happening this week? Hopefully I'm getting a lot of games in, that's the plan. I'm going to be having someone coming in from Thursday night till Monday morning, and we'll be playing a lot of games, which means at some point I'll have to take a break to do my, what's it called, Kickstarter roundup on Monday, because there is going to be a Kickstarter roundup on Monday. But fortunately, I think I have Sunday's videos already done. Monday's video I'll have to film at some point. Today, by the way, this video is probably going up Thursday. I believe this video is going up Thursday. If I did things right, there was a video earlier today that was about After the Empire, if I did things right, if I timed this right. And sometimes I don't, by the way. When I do these unboxings, I never really know exactly how it's going to play out because plans change, schedules adjust, but I just have too many videos right now. I have a backlog that is so ridiculously long. I've talked about this briefly in other things, but there's basically a sequence of you have to read the rules for a game, then you have to play the game, then you have to, play the game multiple times, then you have to film the game being reviewed or played or whatever, then you have to edit that, and then you have to find the days to post it. All those things are barriers in getting content done, and having days to post it is a big deal. I don't want to post 15 videos a day. Look at these polyomino darkness tiles. So you got polyomino darkness over there. And the tiles got a good heft. I've felt thicker. I've felt far worse. This is decent. Okay, that's going to be that. Definitely not disappointed by it. You know, if you want the most disappointing punch boards I've ever played with are going to be Arkane Studios way back in the day when they had their, they had two games, Load and League of Ancient Defenders, something like that, and then they had another one that I can't remember the name of what it was, but it's like a Rum and Bones offshoot, basically. Neither game did I end up playing. I had both at different points, but I didn't end up playing either. The reviews were too mixed that when making hard choices about what games to leave in my collection, both of those eventually left. I was interested. I still am interested, but I have Rum and Bones. I don't need a Rum and Bones knockoff. And Load, I just saw too many mixed reviews about the tower defense nature of the game. These are going to be empty boxes, because that's the thing. We have empty boxes. We have boxes with the bases for the various characters, those little clip-on rings. So we have all that showing up there. Those look a little squished in there, honestly. We have this. We have this. What's in here? Ooh, we got cards in here. Ooh, cards. Cards. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and open those because I like powers and abilities. That's what called me to this game to begin with. This game seemed literally chock full of powers and abilities. It seemed like everything you did was about playing the game, leveling up your characters, going through a tech tree. Tech trees are so much fun. I don't know how... I mean, people do think tech trees are fun. I was about to say... I don't know how people think tech trees are fun, but tech trees are so much fun. People appreciate them. I appreciate them specifically. Like I said already briefly before I ran on a tangent, I have a video upcoming about, after my video with Jeremy Howard, I completely forgot I was on this train of thought, so I'm glad I came back to it. But after my video with Jeremy Howard, he talked about what makes a game fun, and so I started putting together a list of what makes a game fun. And so, on that video, upcoming video that I have, probably in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll see, I currently have 10 things that make a game fun. Arguably 11, but I might combine 2 because 10 sounds better. But I think I have 11. And it's a list. I started the list with 4 things. I had 4 things in my head. I wrote them down. And over the next few months, as I had things develop, I wrote them down. And then I started comparing them to games, both current favorites in my collection, as well as new games. And genuinely, when I have a game that's rated a 4 out of 5, a 4 to 5, or a 5 out of 5, it usually means it checks a lot of those 10 things. Not all of them, but a lot. And we have a Deft Scimitar, we have a Manticore Longbow. Maybe I'll just do this up here. We have a studded Shadow Leather, we have the Venomous Pact Blade, the Full Plate Armor. Now I don't know how these all work, but they have keywords, they have abilities, they have stats, but just lots and lots of equipment. Equipment is fun, okay? The favorite part of its Zombicide is pulling all the equipment. One of my least favorite parts of its Zombicide is the fact that at a certain point you start realizing the specific equipment to go for, and the rest is like subpar. But this gives you like a ton of stuff. We have some familiars, I don't know if they're called that, but we have, oh, these are skills. Skills. Redirect. This is going to be melee skills. Redirect. Self, Prevent 4, Telekinesis 6. Prevent 4 sounds like preventing 4 damage. Telekinesis 6 sounds fun. I don't know. What's that comedian who's like, everyone who believes in telekinesis, raise my hand? That's funny, right? We have Lightning Whip. +2 to hit, +3 to damage, and knockdown. These are just tons of skills. So many skills. So many equipment and skills and characters and armor and characters and stuff. I am excited for this stuff. I'm excited for this game. Don't know if it'll be good. Don't know if it won't. But I'll tell you, there are a handful of games that I have been... In fact, I'm trying to remember what was in my video. I did a video a long time ago called The Top 5 Kickstarters I'm Looking Forward to. I don't remember everything that was in the video. I don't, unfortunately. Now I kind of want to go back to it and see. But I do remember that Kingdom Rush was in that video, and Reichbusters was in that video, and I'm pretty sure Chronicles of Drunagor was in that video. I'm pretty sure it was. But I could be mistaken. But from those, I can tell you that Kingdom Rush absolutely delivered. 5 out of 5 for me. I love the game for what it's trying to do. It's, when I say trying to do, I mean it's a very specific genre of game. It's light but not light. It's thinky. It's more solo than, you know, not. I'd play a 2-player in solo, which is not what I thought I'd be playing with it when I first got it. But that was going to be Kingdom Rush. So Kingdom Rush absolutely delivered, went all in on the second Kickstarter as well. It's an easy game to get to the table, and I'm looking forward to the big box that they give, which makes it even easier to get to the table because it's less fiddliness. And then we have Rackbusters, which for me didn't deliver. I really wanted to like Rackbusters, like really. Now, I do love Super Fantasy Brawl from Mythic Games, which I didn't expect to like as much as I did. Rackbusters was the one I really expected to like. Look at all these skills. These are like character classes that go on your... So these are the character classes that replace those tiered systems. So you can see how there's like level 1, then level 2, level 2. So these cards get placed next to your player board, and that's the system instead. And then you use cubes to mark what you've acquired. Totally different system. It's not as pretty as the player board, but it lets you mix classes better. So yeah, Rackbusters was one that I was let down by. Now, Chronicles of Drunagor is... I don't remember if it's in my list of top 5 Kickstarters I was looking forward to, but if it wasn't, it should have been, because this was absolutely, this is one of the Kickstarters that I'm seriously looking forward to in terms of just getting it to the table, powers and abilities galore, left, right, and center, dungeon crawler, you know, unique innovative system that is half gimmick, half innovative. We'll see. I'll have to play it to find out. But this is absolutely one that I'm looking forward to. Hoping it won't let me down, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. And to be clear, by the way, Rackbusters is not a bad game. It's just that I was looking forward to it a lot, and it didn't deliver a lot. It delivered okay to me. I'm trying to figure out where these specific systems go, because there's the way this game works is they give you basically a 3D system, which I'm trying to create over here. But I need to find all the things that add to it. Let's see if we can find Jylene. Where's Jylene? We'll come back to Jylene shortly. I'm going to forget how to unbox this. I may not end this video with a reboxing, because I'm pretty sure I will forget. Here's where all the Polyomino Darkness tiles go, I imagine. We'll find out. But again, off to the side like everything else. Then we have this. Then we have these. Okay, so here's where we start getting into where are the things. These are probably the things. Where's the character boards? Nope, no character boards underneath there. Where's Jylene? Where's Jylene? I don't know where Jylene is. Was he in the other box and I missed it? I'm not seeing his boards here. Is there another set of boards that I missed somewhere here? Let's see if he's in here. We have Elros. Here's Jaheen. Jaheen, not Jylene. This over here is Jeremy Howard. Jaheen. Okay. I must have missed his larger board because I didn't see it anywhere. But we have Lorelei. We have Maya. We have Arknos. So if Maya's in here, then Jaheen must have been in the other box, right? That seems reasonable because I'm seeing Maya here. I don't remember if we saw Lorelei. I saw Pietro. So I must have missed Jaheen. I'm going to have to go back and find Jaheen later. But we have him here, so that's good at least. Anyways, so we have these trays over here that represent the system where you're supposed to pull them apart, ideally. Hopefully they come apart and don't break, which would be nice. But then you put these trays and you line them up and you create these little 3D dungeons. So let me go ahead and do that right now, because why not? Let's go ahead and set up a little 3D dungeon on the table. I don't know how it actually works past that, but we're going to go ahead. Should we set up a third tier? I don't even know if this is supposed to be a third tier, but we're going to make there be a third tier, because why not? Nope, that doesn't look like it's supposed to be a third tier. We can create bridge systems, I know that. So there we go. We have a bridge system. I've made this up. I don't know if this is illegal. Keep in mind, haven't read the rule book, so I have no clue what's going on here. But we're going to go ahead and put this down over here. And we're going to grab a tile. And you see now, we have a bit of a system going on where we have these tiles underneath. You have different size tiles. And then you got the system where you're dealing and operating on a 3D terrain type system. Again, don't actually know what I'm doing here is legal or not. Let's go ahead and put this like so. And let's put this like so. I don't know if this works or not. There we go. That works-ish, maybe, possibly. Maybe it's cheating. Maybe it isn't. We'll find out. I'm going to go ahead, put that down here, and boom. Now you have specific tiles, specific systems. You can have generate different things on the tiles as you explore through this dungeon with your 3D characters. Let's go ahead and grab some characters. Speaking of which, this video would not be complete without some characters on my little 3D dungeon situation. And let's see if we can get a Jeremy Howard over here. We have, what does Jaheen look like? That's not Jaheen. That's not Jaheen. Jaheen, you'd imagine, would be in one of these boxes, right? Or we have someone in there. This might be Jaheen. That might be Jaheen. I don't think so. We'll put him down anyway. We'll call it a day because I don't want to make you wait here. So we have the characters. We have the characters. We have some of these evil baddies over here slowly infiltrating the dungeon. We have our team of intrepid heroes slowly exploring and trying to make their way through. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and grab one of these guys, because why in the world would you not want to grab one of these guys over here and throw him down in your dungeon? Look at that. Look at that Lich Lord character. I think it's called the Lich Lord, right? Boom. Look at how nicely he takes up that tile. Look at that. That does not look like a fair fight. I hope we win. Actually, I hope we lose. It's more fun when you lose. We have some more characters. Let's go ahead and throw one of these bad boys in the dungeon, just in case, you know, that wasn't enough for you. There we go. We're going to throw him in there. And we're going to go ahead and throw one of these guys in too, because he looks like he had a bad mouth day. I mean, bad hair day. You know, same difference. Mouth day, hair day, all of that. And he's going to be coming at it from the rear. And that right there is Chronicles of Drunagor and why I backed this game. Because it looks like this on the table. And my kids are going to have a blast with this. And I'm going to have to show my son. I have to read the rules and how this is actually supposed to be set up. Because I guarantee you my son is going to want to do this. He already does this with boxes, just setting them up so he can have these massive battles. He's going to have a blast with this game. So at the very least, he'll give it 5 out of 5 stars. We'll see how I rate it after I get it to the table. That has been your unboxing of Chronicles of Drunagor and everything going on in this game. My table is a mess. That's okay. I like my table a mess. I will clean this up or just take a picture. Maybe I'll film a little Instagram video. I don't know. Why not? We can have fun with that. Maybe check my Instagram. I'll throw a link to my Instagram down below. I do things like 30-second reviews of, well, not really reviews. I do like 30 seconds. Like, I'll hold up my phone and be like, where's my phone? I will do it. Maybe I should do it now. Watch. In fact, I'll go ahead and do it now. Let's just be crazy, okay? I'm literally just going to film this right now. Let's take a look over here. Let's go to Instagram. Just the kinds of crazy we do. We're going to go plus. We're going to go to Reels. We're going to change it to a 30-second length. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. I need the box for this part. Okay. This is all kinds of madness. Okay, let's move my coffee out of the way. Actually, I'll keep my coffee in the shot a little bit. Ready? Ready to go? This is what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. This is Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness by Creative Game Studios. This is a game in which you will slowly build up your dungeon. You'll layer up your dungeon, load up your characters. Ooh, that's coffee. I like coffee. Then you'll have tons of skills that you can use. You're going to have vast skill trees. You can combine different classes, attacking each other as the darkness slowly creeps around you. This is a game where, I mean, look at this. Just look at those miniatures. Look at this setup. How can you tell me that you don't want this one on your table? Make sure to head on over to my YouTube channel where you can check out the unboxing and eventually the review. That was amusing, right? I actually think it's a little meta. I like the idea of doing this. Maybe I'll start doing this now on. I'll have the unboxing in my thing. I'm going to go ahead and edit that later. But edits just mean I throw in a caption and then I hit post and all that. But I'll wait till Thursday so people can actually, you know, head onto the channel and I'll see you. Thanks for coming over. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Thank you for being here with my madness and I will see you next time. And as always, have a good one. This is just me doing the editing part of the video. I'm loading up the captions, sliding them up. So you see over here, you can see you got Board Game Co., Chronicles of Drunagor, 30-second review, loading up over there. And then I have to hit save to the next screen. And then we're going to go ahead and type in some stuff. And I'm not going to share it. I'm going to save as draft, so we'll deal with the rest later. I'll see ya.